Good evening, students. Welcome to Students Accuracy and Himanshu's class. Today, we are going to start Consumers Equilibrium Part 3, the last part. Okay? So, we are going to start. Before I start, as usual, I would request you not to skip the video. Please watch the video from the very beginning to the end. And please press the like button if you like it. Press the bell button, share this video with your friends so that your friends can also learn, and please subscribe the channel Himanshu's class. Okay, now let us start. See, before we start, in the previous video we have discussed about indifference curves. Indifference curves, there we have discussed a lot how the indifference curves are formed, what is indifference map, how the indifference curve is chosen from the indifference map, and what is indifference curve. All these things we have discussed in the previous video. Those who have not seen, I would recommend you please go to that previous video, see that, learn about indifference curve, and then see this video. Okay, now here we are going to talk about budget line. Now budget line, before we start, we have to assume, there are some assumptions. That whatever we earn, we are spending full. And we have got two options. Either that option or this option, means two product A or B. Either I am consuming A or I am consuming B, or I am consuming both. If I am consuming both, definitely I will be having some combinations. How much of A and how much of B. Okay, so that too within my limit, because I cannot increase my income or I cannot underutilize my income. That is not in my hand. Increasing my income or decreasing my income is not in my hand. So whatever I earn, it is assumed that I am spending it fully on those two items. So that would, the line so formed by combining those combinations would be called as a budget line here. Suppose I have two items, two products, that is one pani puri and the other one is eclairs. Now how much, means my income is fully spent on pani puri, zero eclairs, then I will be here. Or instead of pani puri, I will not consume pani puri, I will go for eclairs, that would be here. Fully eclairs, zero pani puri. These are the two extreme options. But as there are other combinations, see A, B, C, D, E. These are the combinations, means if I consume this much of pani puri, then definitely this much of eclairs I can consume. Now if I reduce pani puri, and then this much of eclairs are increased. So these options, when are joined, a curve is formed, and this curve is then called as a budget line. Now this is my maximum limit. This is my aukat, this is my limit. Now if I want to attain this combination, it will be unreachable. Why? Because my limit is up till here, and if I want to consume this much of eclairs and this much of pani puri, I cannot, because my income will not permit me to consume that much, because the price of pani puri and the price of eclairs I have to pay, and I don't have that much of money in my pocket. So it is unreachable for me. Similarly, if I stay to this point, then this means where my maximum limit is here, I am spending my money here only, means I am underutilizing my budget, means maximum pani puri I can spend up till here, and maximum eclairs I can spend up till here. And if these two extreme points are joined, along with this combination, this curve is called as budget line. And this much of Pani Puri's cost is my maximum limit, and similar to that, this much of eclairs would be my maximum limit. My money is constant in my pocket. So with that money, if I can purchase fully Pani Puri, then this much. If I want to purchase only eclairs, then this much. Join this, the budget line is formed. That means I will have to spend my money according to my satisfaction, which will give me the maximum satisfaction, and at which point should I stay so that I can attain, I can acquire the maximum satisfaction, maximum utility, and after that point I will stop consuming. When to understand, how to understand, that only will be understood through this diagram, that is consumer's equilibrium with the help of budget line. I am coming to this diagram. Before that, let me explain you about the changes in budget line. Budget line can be changed. Budget line can be changed in two cases. Number one, if my income changes. Number two, if the price of any one of these items changes. Means either Pani Puri or eclairs. If the price changes, then also budget line changes. So let us take the first example. My income changes. Means my income may increase or my income may decrease. If my income increases, then my budget line was this. My income is, suppose I am consuming at this consumption level. Okay, then in that case, if my income increases, definitely I will shift on to this point. Or I may change to this point. My budget line will increase. Or similarly, if my income decreases, I will come back to this point. That means if income increases, budget line shifts to the right. If the income decreases, then the budget line shifts to the left. Okay. Next, if the price of eclairs changes, my budget is to stay in this line. Okay. Now, price of Pani Puri is fixed. It's not changing. But the price of eclairs, when it was like this, now it has reduced. Price of eclairs have decreased. Definitely as a consumer, I will shift on to this point. Here, I will try to consume more eclairs because the price of eclairs have reduced. And my income is fixed. But my purchasing power of eclairs have increased. So I will shift myself to this point, from this point to this point. And if the price, Pani Puri's price has not changed, eclairs price has increased, in that case my purchasing power has decreased. I will stick to Pani Puri here because price of Pani Puri has not changed. But eclairs price has changed. My purchasing power of eclairs has come down. So I will shift on to this point. Similarly, if the price of Pani Puri changes, eclairs remains the same. In that case, what happens? I will consume eclairs from this point only, at this price only, at this quantity only. But the price of Pani Puri increased. So increased means definitely I will bring down my consumption from this point to this point. I will reduce the consumption of Pani Puri because my budget, my money in my pocket is fixed. If the price of Pani Puri decreases, definitely I will start consuming more because my purchasing power of Pani Puri increases. So you can see these red lines are the shifted budget lines. If the income changes, then if it increases, income increases, the budget line moves to right side. If my income decreases, the budget line moves to left side. If the income of x-axis change, then in that case, if it increases, then it moves to left side. If it decreases, then it goes to the right side. Similarly here, if the price of this Pani Puri increases, then I will come down. If the price of Pani Puri decreases, I will move up from this point to this point. Am I clear? So, budget line along with the IC1, IC2, IC3. This is the point, students, where I will try to stick because the IC means indifference curve. 3 indifference curves, the indifference map is being drawn. and the budget line is added to the indifference curve map. Now, there we will see at which point the budget line becomes a tangent to which IC. Suppose this IC2, this budget line is a tangent at this point. So, according to my income, according to my budget, maximum I can purchase this much of Pani Puri and this much of eclairs. Why? Because this will give me maximum satisfaction. Means this combination will give me maximum satisfaction. Suppose this was A, this was B, this is C, this is D, and this is E, suppose, like this. So C combination gives me the maximum satisfaction. Thus, we decide what would be our consumer's equilibrium point, means where I will stop consuming, means if I was suppose here, then definitely my budget is permitting, but my indifference curve is telling you can come here. So there is a disequilibrium according to my budget and indifference curve. So indifference curve as well as the budget, both are coinciding, intersecting. The budget line becomes a tangent to the indifference curve. That is the indifference curve. According to me, is the indifference curve which I must follow, and the combination at this point is the equilibrium point for me, so that I can consume up to this point of this product, Pani Puri, and this point eclairs, and this quantity of eclairs I will consume. Okay, students? So this was consumer's equilibrium, the end of consumer's equilibrium. Next, we will move on to next topic. Probably I will be moving on to money and banking. So, please stay tuned. Good night for the day.